Welcome to Any Given Thursday. We're like your favorite bra. A little worn, comforting, supportive, but let's be honest, there's a pretty solid wire poking you where you don't want it. It's Rob.
And Kevin. I like that. I thought that was very apt, I would say.
It's like a hug you need. I was gonna say want. I don't know if you want it or not.
Yeah, you probably don't always want it, but
Yeah.
well, I mean, you don't need it either, you know.
Okay, well that's fair.
You know, we're all about hashtag free the titties, but
Yeah, whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah. It's up to you, really. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you what to do.
But we're just both supportive and a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. That's our vibe. We support you, you support us, and we make you feel uncomfortable.
And each other.
And we...
By being here.
Yeah, and then you make us feel uncomfortable by listening.
Yeah.
It's great. It just somehow works out surprisingly well. Or terrible, but...
I think it's good.
Whatever.
So, what's the topic this week, Kat?
So, we're getting a little heady today.
Oh, boy.
Maybe a little heady, maybe a little hardy.
Hardy?
Yeah, maybe a little heady, a little hardy, you know?
I
depending on... No, not like...
Yeah, I thought you meant like Campbell's soup.
No,
like
yeah,
the commercials, not the actual soup.
Yeah, no, not hearty or like or hefty, like not like, you know. Cause, yeah, you started saying commercials, and I started going wimpy, 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 hefty, 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 right? But no, hearty as in like your heart.
Oh.
Yeah, or your mindy. So mindy hardy maybe.
Which is both.
Potentially, depending on what your opinion is of this. The unique aspect of individuals that some people agree exists and other are, very up in the air about.
I'm afraid.
We're talking about souls.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're talking about souls?
Yeah, we're talking about souls, like the dark ones.
Oh.
No, we're not talking about the video game.
Oh.
No, we're not talking about the video game.
Okay, I didn't think so. I also kind of started to think Dark Souls as soon as you said it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you went there too.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But yeah, like I want to talk a bit about the concept of the soul or the spirit or life essence, I guess. Whatever you want to call it, and sort of. I'll start off there. I'll start, and then we'll delve a bit deeper into it. But I want to start off with Rob.
Uh-huh.
What do you think? Do you think there is a soul or a spirit or a life essence, or is it just brain?
That's an interesting one. First things first.
Okay.
This immediately made me think of Apocalypse.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, if there are spirits, are there ghosts? Well, I don't know. If so, we'll get to that later, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's almost like I listened to that episode today, and I just... I had this written down before that, but even still.
I would probably say I am not... like dead set. I'm not convinced, but I think I've always kind of thought there's something there, I don't. Okay, so a few things went through my mind, right? Yep. There was kind of like, for some reason, afterlife and spirits, for some reason in my mind, are close, or soul or spirit, or spirit.
Either.
Okay.
Sure.
Right, whatever. Okay.
I mean, we're still in the early phase. We're teasing it out, right?
Sure.
So really, any direction you want to go, I'm gonna let you have it, and then I'm gonna come in with my own. So
because I feel like there's like the whole like spark of life thing, right?
Okay. Yep.
Like if
or breath or whatever.
Yeah, it's like you're a meat sack.
Yes.
But something is we have personality and something's making us do things.
Yeah, which could just be our brains.
It could just be our brains, but like, it seems like there's probably some sort of spark, right? Like there's something
Yeah, we're all planeswalkers.
that.
We all have a spark.
Why haven't I left yet?
No, I get you. Yeah, there's something unexplainable that has not either yet been found or will be found by science because it's based on just whatever other processes exist in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I am in the I'm in the soul camp. I think there are definitely things that are inexplainable.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's definitely a convenient argument because you could just say, well, yeah, I'm sure you could find a reason for this or that or the other thing, or you always come back to what I was saying earlier, like, oh, it's just the brain doing things or making us think this way, or but I don't know. For me, I feel like the soul or whatever it is tied directly to consciousness. Like that's how I see it. So I
okay.
feel like I am a conscious being because I am in possession of a soul.
I don't know if this is necessary. I also think that there's like you can. I think I'm. Sorry.
Okay.
Soul doesn't necessarily, in my mind, translate to religion.
I agree. Yeah,
I don't want to like. I don't know.
We don't need to look. We don't need to tiptoe around anything. We don't do that here. We kick down the door and just go right fucking through it, Rob. We don't have to tiptoe around it.
I'm usually not. For some reason,
we've been making fun of religions for a plethora of episodes.
I know.
Now.
It's just
all of them too. I mean, mostly the Christian ones. That's just because it's the culture that we grew up around. But we'll make fun of all the religions at some point.
Probably.
I mean, I hope so at least. Otherwise, we're
you gotta weigh in on it equally.
Yeah,
but like, okay, like I think it's gonna be weird. You could probably be atheist and think that there's a soul.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I guess was why I was trying to think of a way to say it, right?
So,
but that seems weird in my mind too, right?
Define, in that sense, atheism, right? Is it just not? Is it not believing in any gods, deities?
That's the other thing.
Because I feel so often atheism is directly tied to not being a part or not believing in the monotheistic three, right?
Well, I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay.
Because usually when people bring up they're an atheist, I don't know if it's just like a purposefully not trying to say I don't believe in God, which when they say
fuck
that,
God. Sorry. It rolled right off the tongue. I can't help it.
It's a call out, I swear.
Yeah. That's all I wanted. This whole topic was just based
around. All you wanted to be able to say?
No.
No, I feel like
Nietzsche, God is dead.
I feel like a lot of time when atheism, you say I don't believe in God, they immediately are referring to the Christian God for one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure that's the connect.
Sure.
But I also feel like a lot of time it's like, oh, I'm atheist. I don't believe there's an afterlife. Which I feel like that's usually a direct tie-in.
Okay, so atheists don't believe in an afterlife. So they wouldn't believe in a soul or spirit or something along those lines.
I don't know because
the soul or spirit is what is linked to the afterlife. I mean, that is sort of the common...
That's like the common thing, right? But
yeah.
I don't know if that's like set anywhere.
No.
Right? like you could, okay, you could be an atheist and believe in souls. I think that you can
sure,
have a soul.
I don't see why not.
But the atheist soul, they just die when they're there's no more soul once
I
the
guess
body is dead. I don't know.
Sure. Excuse me. I don't know. I'm not an atheist, so I couldn't tell you. So I don't want to misrepresent the what they would think because I'm not coming from that camp, right?
Okay,
so, and I think,
I know
is the reason that I think there's a soul the reason that I'm not an atheist. Now that's
an interesting.
That's a different.
No, I feel that though. Although I'm curious, and you don't have to answer this either. I know what you grew up as, but what do you consider yourself?
I think the safest term is agnostic.
We're gonna go the same route on this, aren't we? Okay, go ahead.
Well, yeah, because I think I believe that there exists an all powerful entity that set things in motion.
Interesting.
Whether that's like that very well could be like the Big Bang. We could be spot on with that from a scientific perspective, right? But I think there is something that set that in motion and got us going. And like I believe in evolution because it's true. Like it's not things like that, right? But I do think that there is something out there, a higher entity of sorts, which is why I feel for me the safest bet is agnostic. And I have in the past put names on it. Sometimes I still do, sometimes I don't. Mm-hmm. Like I'm very wishy-washy on that. And I didn't mean for this conversation to become like a spiritual deconstruction session, right? So we could do that another time. Like I'm all up for talking about that. That wasn't my intent in bringing up souls originally.
Okay, but I don't know how many of our topics have gone right along with our intent any of the time.
No, that's fair.
So I'm just gonna mention that.
That's fair.
All right, but we don't have to dwell on any one part of this. So,
sure.
I remember hearing the term agnostic once, and I think it was like, yeah, they're just wishy-washy. I'm like, I don't know about that. It seems unsure. It's like, I've never looked into a lot of religions. In general, I just haven't into one given camp enough.
Sure. I'm fascinated by all of them.
Oh, I think they're incredibly interesting.
Yeah. Took a Jewish studies course in college just because I wanted to learn
to date a Jewish gal.
Yeah. Well, that's different. Yeah.
That's what you were looking for, Kevin.
No, I realized that after the fact. The class made me want to date a Jewish girl. That's not true. It might be true. I don't know. I have to process that more before I set a firm stance on that point. But
if you're single, Jewish, and female, you might be for Kevin.
No.
But no, it was like I don't. Spiritual sounds hokey to me.
Okay, how?
Because if somebody says they're spiritual, it just sounds hokey to me. I don't know if I have more of an explanation for that. That's how I feel.
Okay, I'll get more into the. What do you mean by hokey? Like fake or like insincere? Like I just want to have a better understanding of. I don't know
the
phrasing. I guess
insincere or like.
Are we talking like hippie spirituality? Like
it feels partly like that.
Okay, so maybe like a bastardization of like Eastern practices, like everything that happens on the West Coast, sort of thing, or like
yeah, like I'm not spiritual, but like it's right. I guess that is probably it.
Yeah, when all of the Eastern religions came to America and we decided no, we're gonna do them our way, and then gurus just started popping up everywhere. I don't know. Like that's sort of what my brain went to. I don't know if that's what you were going for, but
I'm not trying to say I'm into crystals here.
no, that's bullshit. If you own a crystal, you're fucking crazy.
You know what? I was actually kind of thinking about this.
I'm glad you just let that one sit there. That means you agree with me.
That I'm not going to comment on it quite yet because what I was going to say is somewhat related. I was actually thinking about this on the way into work today because I have really weird daydreams.
Fair.
I think mine on the way to work this morning was potentially talking religion to a child I obviously don't have.
Okay.
It gets weird.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Yep. No comment.
The idea was that something has as much power as you give it.
Okay. So words,
but like
and
I think it goes to a lot of religions.
Okay.
Even the crystal thing. If you really believe that crystal can do that, whether it does or not, it might have effects on you.
Oh yeah. I mean, the human brain's crazy.
Yeah.
Like fucking placebo, and the ability to convince yourself that. Well, because we're so fucking good at finding patterns. So it's like, okay, I did this, so and this happened, so this is because of that, and it may or may not be true, but we are so intent on making meaning out of things, that there's a lot of people that will naturally jump to that. I think that's a very fair point.
But even not as even not as like a sciencey deconstructed thing, just in general, the more you believe in something, the more power it has. I think that as a blanket statement, whether that's a little warm and fuzzy or whether it's just from a weird science standpoint, I think that it has value to it.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
And so it's like, part of me likes the idea of some form of an afterlife. Part of me feels like I've experienced some weird shit. I've had a lot of weird coincidences, and like you said, maybe I'm just good at noticing patterns, like of times I really should have died. It's
yep,
whatever.
Yep.
I'm not sold on any one religion, sect, whatever, but I'm not against them either.
Yeah,
I don't like some of the way the institutions work.
Sure.
I think that's a lot of both of our issue with a lot of them.
Yep. That was, it was definitely a big thing, trying to, we'll get into it now, trying to reconcile the actions of the broader, hierarchy, right?
Yeah.
These people are doing this, that's a shitty thing to do, or these people believe this, that's a shitty thing to believe, in my opinion. So, like, I can't reconcile with that.
I feel like power and religion gets intermingled when it shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, there should be a separation of church and state, but,
I wasn't even going. That's not even where my mind is at.
No, but that's the first thing that clicked for me is, hey.
No, yeah, I wholeheartedly believe that as a statement as well.
Yeah, but no, not in America, We're one nation under God, Rob, so,
Can there be like a parenthesis with an S in there and maybe a question mark?
That'd be cool. Yeah. One nation under God? Yes. I think that would be much better instead of indoctrinating our children every morning into believing in a God. That's an aggressive way to put it, but
that is very yeah, that was an aggressive yes, Kev.
But hey, I stand by it. If you say it every morning for 13 years, yeah, okay, it's gonna affect how you think. Oddly enough.
I think somebody at one point told me that's mostly like a New England or Eastern Coast thing too. Like that's not all across the country.
Really? That's something left over from our Puritan days that we say the pledge every day?
I think so.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, like the West Coast doesn't even really learn about the Revolution that much, from my understanding.
Well, it's our history.
So
I get that. It's like and especially so. I mean, okay, we're gonna pull out the knowledge now.
Oh, we're going all over the place. Let's do it.
So as of 2018, I want to say.
Wow. Okay, that's
2017, 2018. I think it was right around there. No, 16, 17, around there, a couple years earlier.
Sure, Kev. I don't know what you're.
That was around when the latest social studies frameworks in Connecticut specifically were released. There may have been a new one. I'm just not up on it anymore because I haven't been a history teacher for years. But so there was a guideline for K through 12 education as to what the general strategy was for teaching history in the state of Connecticut.
Okay.
Not to the same level of Common Core for math, which gets shit on a lot, even though there's some good things about it, and I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for that, but
I'm going to interrupt you immediately, briefly.
Sure.
Kevin, you are still a history teacher. You're teaching me history all the time.
Oh, well, thank you.
Continue.
Right now, from 5 years ago. So there was, standards put in place, and I think it's around third grade is when you start talking about Connecticut history, and then you break off and do a lot of elementary school stuff is local stuff, and then middle school you usually do geography, and then eighth grade is usually U.S. history, and again you're starting with a lot of the local stuff because Revolution, you're starting from the beginning and doing a very brief overview. You get into high school. Most high schools require 1 year of U.S. history for graduation. A lot of colleges require a year of U.S. history as a prereq. UConn does, actually. And then Connecticut requires civics in high school to graduate, right? So there are, requirements here for us to learn about the government and learn about the history. And because, all of these New England states played such a pivotal role in the founding of the nation, we focus on ourselves a lot. And not everything, and not even the stuff we should be focusing on, but it is what we focus on.
I think it's also a tool because if you're going to teach history, it's easier to point at things you can easily point to. The Revolution around here, there's a lot of examples. You can call out places and things nearby that you can clear evidence happened.
Yeah, Lexington and Concord were, an hour and a half away. Yeah, that is a place where a major thing happened that is right nearby.
Newark and Boston were incredibly important to those processes. They're right there.
Yeah. And then even I remember doing a lot on industrialization, because New York was right there, and all the shit that was happening when New York grew, and
I'm sure it's even bigger out in Chicago.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We're gonna reel us back in a little bit, though.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Please do. This was. We went a little.
I'm gonna reel you back in.
Yeah. Reel me in.
I think that it's.
We don't educate about the soul. Okay. No.
No, but going back to the maybe as agnostic thing. Maybe it's just me being a little optimistic, but I just think there's a little bit more to it. That feels like there's something else for me. I think that's the crux of it. I think that's why I'm not ready to say I'm atheist. I think my practice has always been I'm not going to go with one religion.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for one, I've always just kind of hedged my bets on I'm going to try and do well and not be a shitty person. And then if any of them are right, I'm probably doing pretty well if there's any afterlife at all.
No, that's a very fair bet.
I'm just going to be decent to other people and, the people who matter and try and do okay in life. And that covers all of the monotheistic ones, and I think at least Hinduism to some extent. So,
don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
I don't know why I never needed a strict religious upbringing to tell me that. Just don't be a dick, people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people do. Some people don't. I need a strict, religious upbringing. Some people do. Some people don't. It really, as long as you're getting to a point where don't be a dick is pretty much a main message and what you practice in your everyday life. Who fucking cares?
That's been my kind of I feel like there's something else.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep trying to not be a dick and maybe help some people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems like a safe bet.
I actually something you mentioned earlier about your daydream
Okay. Yep.
actually caught my attention around the concept of us giving meaning to things.
Sure.
So, like, there is this idea that I toy around with, right?
Mm-hmm.
That uh, it's either one or the other, right? So, and it's an interesting one. So, either every god that has ever been written about or worshipped exists, because in the act of writing about them, we are creating them and we are giving them power. Or the opposite is true, and none of them exist because they're all just human creations. Now, I kind of like the idea that everyone exists, because I feel it makes me feel better. Like, honestly, there's no logic. It just from a purely emotional standpoint, um, I prefer there to be a shit ton of options, which, your concept of feeling like there is something and sort of just hoping to stumble into the right one by not being a dick. Like, that idea kind of paired up to me in terms of, yeah, they all exist, and maybe Rob's gonna try to stumble into the right one. Well, if one, well, I guess no, because only one of them. But anyways, whatever. But yeah, because we are in creating, in worshiping, in quote unquote having faith, we are empowering that idea, and that idea becoming an entity, I guess. Which is, sort of some hippie bullshit. But
Two things.
Mhm.
The first one being, and this is probably some symptom of either anxiety or PTSD, but for for a while, and sometimes I still do, it's like, oh, I thought of that scenario, so it definitely can't happen. Because I've thought of it, it's not going to happen. Simply for that thing. So, like,
give me an example, if you can, because I'm mildly confused.
No, that's okay. Even if it's just small things, like, oh, that's dark. I need a less dark one. Less dark one than me walking in on my mom dead. Can't happen because I already thought of it. So different future is gonna happen. That one has happened before. I've thought that exact train of thought. I know. Like I said, I was trying to think of a less dark one. I had a hard time as soon as it came into my head. Anyway, for what? You can't see his face, but there's a lot of concern, and I don't blame him. But no, okay. But yeah, I probably could have found a less dark one. It popped into my head.
It's too late. You already said it.
All I could get.
It's too late. You already
just
said
have an idea, and it's like, well, I can't get around that one. It's like a boulder in the road. It's just like I gotta.
Wait, well, it can't happen now because you thought about it.
It's usually more elaborate. It's like, oh, that was a really weird and elaborate daydream, but it's not gonna happen now because I just thought of it. So there's no hope. It's cut off from the possibilities. I don't know why. Again,
so you prevent futures. That's your superpower. By thinking about things, you prevent it from happening.
The other completely different thought I had was your that I thought of was actually a couple years back in Marvel for a period of time. Loki in the comics, let me just clarify.
Okay. Yep.
Was the god of stories, and there was a whole thing about the Thor run and the Loki run, which were separate at that point, where gods existed and had power because they were believed in.
Ah, okay. Neat. Okay.
So obviously, I directly thought of that. But yeah, it was like a whole like theme in it, and it was pretty cool.
So, all right. So I just stole it from that comic that I didn't read.
Nah, it was like a very successful run. So you just had the same great idea, completely unrelated as they did.
Yeah, like pyramids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like pyramids.
Yeah, yeah. The Egyptians and the Mayans, they both built pyramids. They had no contact with each other,
It's the best way to stack rocks.
Right. So, yeah, like pyramids. Or pyramid schemes.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah,
That one was probably...
that's what we run.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. But
But
no, go on, please, please.
no, I don't remember.
No, okay. So really, you know, I'm gonna, I'm gonna shift us back to soul, potentially away from religion.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Really, what I was trying to get down to, and with the whole concept of soul, spirit, whatever it may be, is I was curious about the concept of the value of a soul. Like, our which I guess we still haven't defined what it is. It's just kind of a thing that exists that we both believe people have. That is whatever we may not call it that,
We
but
both believe that people probably have.
Yes.
Although you said something earlier, I don't want to forget about it again. You said that it has to be a conscious thing. That beings with consciousness have soul. So
yeah.
Do animals not have souls?
I think that depends on the definition of consciousness. Like, so we're doing this. Well, you see, consciousness, sentience, self-awareness. What's the difference, really? If we're going back to that.
I think I have a way to get this out, get you off of that. Unless we want to do that rabbit hole again.
I don't think that animals. Oh shit! I don't think that animals have souls.
I disagree. I think an easier way
is to just say everything has a soul.
No.
Okay.
Things with free will have souls.
How do you define what has free will?
A rock does not. Computers, thus far, probably not so much.
Do amoebas have a soul? Do they have free will?
I think they just eat things. I don't know about that.
You know?
Yeah. If your life function is one of like two things, probably not.
Well, you have a choice between two things, either the one or the two.
I don't think there's much choice involved.
Okay. So the illusion of free will. If you are sentient enough to believe that you could have free will, you have a soul. I know I'm putting some caveats on there.
Yeah, that goes all over the place. Because that like implies that the thing thinks of itself as itself, which really limits down certain animals based on our ability to understand that.
Mice have souls.
I think that's a convenient thought.
Why?
Because people kill a lot of mice.
Right. I don't think they have souls.
I think that's a good way to use a guilty conscience. I don't know.
I think like that was like my cutoff,
Was mice?
Yeah.
What about cats?
Yeah. Cats and dogs do.
Okay, again, I think this is still just to ease a guilty conscience here.
Chickens do.
Chickens do. But mice don't?
Pigs do.
I feel like mice can feel more compassion than chickens.
Cows do.
But not mice.
No.
Is it a size thing?
Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe subconsciously it is. I think no. When I think of a mouse, I don't think of something that has a soul. Like if I were to look at different things, like if we were to put all creatures in a row, and I were just to go down the line and say soul or no soul, like mice would not have a soul.
I'm gonna bring up another weird, but I think related concept that reincarnation.
Sure.
A lot of I feel like reincarnation is heavily believed. Ideas that souls are a thing, based probably loosely on the whole energy cannot be destroyed; it just gets converted thing. For some reason, in my mind, that is somewhat. It's
sure. I think that's a what's the way to phrase it? A scientific. God, what's the word? Convenience, right? I think it's very convenient that science came up with that after, because resurrection has been believed in for millennia, right? But the idea that matter is not created or destroyed definitely came around much later than the belief in resurrection.
I mean, but why does that have to be convenient? Why couldn't one support the other?
They could. I that's what makes it convenient. The fact that okay, it just so happens to be, oh yeah, souls can't be created or destroyed. Ooh, if souls can't be created or destroyed,
then reincarnation would have to exist.
Well, then.
Well, or there's just an after. Whatever. I guess
then there's a limit. There's also a max number of souls. And we're at a point where the population of if every human has a soul.
Yeah.
And we have over 7 billion humans. But like
we keep killing more and more animals, so animals are just getting converted to people.
I guess, but I mean, when there was only 10,000 people,
how many more animals?
How many soul? Every animal had a soul then? Mice have to have souls then, probably.
Well, that's what I was kind of getting at with the reincarnation thing.
Shit, mice
is there only things that you can get reincarnated that have souls? But if you can get reincarnated into anything,
oh yeah, then trees have souls, plants have souls.
Yeah, I guess. That kind of throws my whole argument out the book too.
Yeah.
Although, like, spirit of the forest thing has been around for a long time.
I mean, I definitely think okay. This is gonna sound fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I would say that a tree is more likely to have a soul than a mouse still.
Why mouse? Why is mouse your cutoff?
I don't know. It feels right.
I'm pretty sure they're like communal animals. There's a lot of reasons why I just think mice shouldn't be the smaller.
Bees have souls.
Bees have souls and not mice.
Yeah. Yeah, bees are fucking geniuses.
What about ants?
Yeah, ants have souls.
Ants can have souls, but mice can't have souls.
I'm less big on that. I'm less sold on that one. I said it, and then I
sold on that one.
That was terrible.
Brilliant.
As soon as I said that ants have souls, I immediately in my brain was like, "No, that's wrong. Take that back." So I'm going to take that back. I don't think ants have souls, but bees. I'm sticking with bees. And trees.
I was gonna say I hate your logic, but there isn't any, so whatever.
Right.
All right. How about this one? And I hope they don't have souls, because I would be horrified. Mushrooms aren't allowed to have souls. I'm just throwing that out there.
No, mushrooms 100% have souls.
I don't want them to.
They do.
No,
dude. Mushrooms are so fucking
I don't want entropy
intelligent and
to have. No, I don't want it.
Dude, they are the whole. I mean, the whole reason that forests exist is because mushrooms exist. It's wild.
Seems like a bit of a stretch.
No. The what's it out in out west somewhere. I don't think it's on the.
You're talking about that one forest?
The one forest.
One mushroom that encompasses
the entire fucking thing. And the
one
trees that exist around it only because the mushroom communicates with the trees. And, they exist in a symbiotic relationship. Mushrooms are fucking wild, dude. They have souls.
I, for one, don't want them to still. Because mushrooms are also horrifying.
I would give mushroom souls over plants.
And apparently over mice.
yeah. All right, fine. Maybe, okay, for the sake of the argument, I will say that mice can have souls.
About time.
Just for the sake of the argument.
You're going to really hate this one. Fish?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give it to him.
You give fish souls before mice?
I just said I'm going to give them souls. I just said I'm in.
How benevolent of you to let the mice have souls.
Yeah, you're welcome, mice. It's about time.
Reincarnation's real. I hope you get reincarnated into a freaking mouse.
I hope not. That would suck. Yeah, I'm in a lab. My soul's. I'm there for a very short period of time, and then my soul's on to something new. Just like that. But here it comes.
Oh, okay.
This is what I really wanted, right?
Oh, okay.
This is what I really wanted. How do you measure the value of a soul? Now, are these incorporeal things that we all seemingly possess, and so do all plants and animals, including mice and fungi. Um, like, what is it like? I feel like it's too pretentious to say that our actions as humans either positively or negatively impact our soul. Even maybe in terms of that reincarnation thought that you have, right? Or well, not just you. I mean, it's widely believed by a lot of people. But that one that just you believe in.
I was gonna say you're really shitting on the Hindus.
No. The one that one idea that just Rob thinks is true, and fuck everyone else. No. Well, I said I had to, right? We have to hate on all the religions. Yeah, I mean, it's about time. But in your concept of reincarnation, I don't know if that aligns with the Hindu concept of reincarnation, but in yours, is the result of your reincarnated soul directly impacted by the value of it as placed upon it by the actions of the previous owner of said soul?
For one, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this out there. It's not my form of reincarnation. I am not TMing any of this.
Okay, fine. Too late. I've trademarked it for you.
There's a lot of different reincarnation concepts.
Mm-hmm.
I learned about the Hindu one a long time ago. I know it has to do with sects.
Yeah,
with a CT, not the no X. I'm not talking about X.
I mean, it's got to do with sex too.
Probably.
Why not? Well, how are new souls put into babies?
God.
Denominations instead of sects.
No, I think it's a class system actually.
Well, that's the caste.
Cat. Thank you.
System.
That's the word I was really trying to.
Oh,
freaking
that's what
figure
you're.
out.
Oh, you weren't trying to think of Sekatissa?
Sekatissa.
Sekatissa.
No. Yeah. Okay. So I think Hindus go. I believe from my very.
Rob, just piss them off. We're not dancing. Just piss them off.
Damn it.
Piss them all off.
I think it's like how well and how you did in that cast determines whether or not you move up or down, and it's always back into people. So you're getting reincarnated into another person, and your cast is based on how well you did in the past life, in the past cast.
Now, here's the real thing.
Sure.
That's awful convenient too, because really all that is, it's just social control.
Okay.
It's just a way for the people at the top to say that they're better than everyone else,
Kevin,
and to keep everyone in line.
I don't disagree, but remember, we're trying not to just focus on angry religion.
Okay.
I'm not saying I disagree. I kind of agree, but it's just that's okay. So we put that form of reincarnation there, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
And there's not just the whole it's a soul that gets into something.
It's a soul that gets into something.
Yeah, you have a soul, you die, it goes somewhere. It can go
okay.
into anything for any random reason. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then, so you're, I think, going value of soul somewhere in the middle. You're trying to say, you're saying that it's a little pretentious for how good or bad your actions are to then determine how you get reincarnated or where your soul goes.
I only took it from the reincarnation since that was what was brought up. Really, I want to go to the core, of the core of my argument. Really is, how do you determine whether, what a soul is, and then how much a soul is worth in terms of its value? Is it? I know it's like a weird way to phrase it, but and do you look at it in a morality aspect of is a good soul more valuable versus a bad soul? And then so I thought if we thought of what makes a soul good or what makes a soul bad, and then get into how do you then determine what the value of a soul is?
This is gonna be dumb.
No, let me have it. I'm all in.
Skyrim's take on this was interesting.
Okay.
Again, I said it was going to be dumb.
Yeah.
But in that sense, the more higher level, higher evolution thing you killed could be a grand soul.
Mm-hmm.
But people, if you killed, were always, I think,
Like a
the
lesser,
highest. They were always the highest tier, but it was like a dark soul. Like,
or yeah.
It had its own classification. It was always really high, but it was just there.
Yep.
And everything else was on a level of, I don't know if it's intelligence, but like power. It was like a level of power.
Yeah. I mean, that was direct. How much XP it gave? No.
Well, I mean, I don't even know.
No,
I don't remember exactly how it worked. There was a large mechanic based around it. That's all.
right. Which they had to put, from they had to gamify it, right?
Yeah, Bethesda was fine with ranking souls.
Yes.
They just copped out by having people not be involved with everything else.
Yeah, and have it be its own separate thing. So maybe that's how it is. Maybe people's souls are their own separate thing, and they have to be judged on a separate scale from all souls.
That's lame. What if I want to be reincarnated as a mantis shrimp so I can punch the shit out of things?
Then you need to make sure that the value of your soul is equivalent to that of the value of a mantis shrimp soul. I guess I don't know how to. I don't even know if I believe it, but I think that's the only way to piece it together in my brain right now. So that's sort of the way that I'm going.
Is this point buy of souls?
Yes. Yes. Yep. I'm gonna put all of it into wisdom, so I have a really good perception, like a mantis shrimp does. And then we'll figure out the rest as we go. Dump all the rest of them.
Because intelligence doesn't seem like a fair way to do it either.
No.
It seems like a more likely way if we're giving souls value.
I feel like it's either that or morality, but I feel like morality is the cop-out answer, and I don't like it.
I think intelligence is also a cop-out answer.
Yeah. What is the value? What was the value of Stephen Hawking's soul? Like fucking brilliant ass man.
Yeah.
Goddamn genius.
Yeah. Couldn't move around very much towards the end.
Well, it's not his fault. His body was fucking him.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just, pretty shitty. Especially when your mind is so good and your body's just like, nah, bro, I'm out. Like, fuck that. But yeah, like, what's the value? He is incredibly smart. Value of his soul versus, or like, I don't know, maybe physial prowess matters. Like maybe Olympians. Like, what's the value of an Olympian soul?
I think that's how Bethesda did it. Okay, if we're trying to go for weird ones and abstract comments, what about the depth of emotion?
Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's a. Right, I don't like that scale.
We're not going morality. We're not going intellect. You could be equally good or bad, or equally dumb or smart. It is the depth of emotion you felt while alive determines the value of your soul.
I don't like that. I don't like that one bit.
Don't worry, Ken. You can feel a lot of emotion without acknowledging a lot of emotion.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
You can suppress a lot of emotion.
I know. I've been working on it for years. I try really hard to do that.
For some reason, that's a lot of damage.
Mixed with emotional damage.
Yeah, somewhere between the two just sprung through my head.
Yeah. Yep. That's a lot of emotions. Yeah. Anyways, no, I think I honestly,
I don't hate that one.
I don't hate that one. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think it's better than any of the other ones we've come up with so far. Well, come up with being the ones that are generally accepted, I guess I would say.
Or just going to humans, or I don't know, you can pick a thing, or just being random.
You think you can pick?
I don't know.
I don't think you can pick.
Cool.
Maybe it's like Discover in Hearthstone. Like you get 3 options.
I haven't played Hearthstone, but okay.
Yeah. So you get, when you discover something, you get 3 options and you pick one.
So you die. You have this brief moment where some being offers you these 3 things you can pick.
Yeah.
They give you no other information.
Nope.
You don't know how well or able or good that thing's gonna be.
Nope.
It's like generic categories.
Yeah.
Do we get like okay?
No. I would say I would still say like specific beings, right? So you get
Is it just like human?
oak tree,
Wow,
human.
you don't really. But okay, so just human is just
human is just human.
gets to be super vague.
Human gets to be vague.
Oak tree doesn't.
Yeah, right.
It can't just be tree.
Nope.
And then you take whatever tree you get.
Nope. Human, oak tree, manna shrimp for you.
Well, why am I all just going to dark and sad shit today?
I don't know. You want to talk about it?
I don't know, but I am. I guess
I can stop recording if you want to talk about it. We can just hash
fine.
it out.
My aunt who passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you just all fucking hate, Kevin? Whatever.
I'm trying to experience greater depth of emotion so I can upgrade my soul.
That's not how it works. You're cheating. You can't cheat the system, Kev. They know.
All right, fine. Who knows?
The weird deity is gonna give you mouse. Fucking
no. Anything but mouse. Fuck mouse.
Mouse fucking. They're gonna give you mouse, rat, and vole.
Oh, vole all day, all vole. Yeah.
Aunt who died.
Hmm?
I don't know how much did not believe in reincarnation. Died on the younger side of things. I think she.
Is Aunt what still doing okay?
You what?
How about Aunt Wen?
God damn. That really. Wow.
Aunt Howe's fine.
I'll kill you.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
For some reason, said that you would want to. I think she chose peacock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, beautiful bird, interesting, whatever.
Sure. Yeah, depending on, what gender you come back as.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But I mean, who knows how that works? But
yeah, sure.
Who knows how any of this shit? Sorry.
Yeah, who knows, Kev?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's at least the desire.
Sure.
Which desire is a depth of emotion. Maybe it comes into play. You're still getting a fucking mouse, though.
Based on my comments today alone. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
No, but so, like, whenever there's a family event, somebody usually either has some sort of pin or feather or something. Peacock symbol. The thought is there.
Yeah. I got you. So every time you see a peacock now, you're like, oh, that's on who?
No, it's not why.
Oh. Why would you pick a peacock? Why are you visiting me?
Now? Why now?
No, I mean, there's a lot of people that, not that specific, but the idea of human brains being good at finding patterns. There's a lot of people who, after they lose a loved one, and then I don't know, a robin shows up in their backyard on like every 3 days or whatever, something like that. They will often equate that's my loved one checking in on me or something like that.
I'm going to reference this poorly. I think TK has mentioned it to me a few times.
Okay.
That like a cardinal, St. Cardinal,
okay,
is supposed to be a symbol of a past loved one.
Huh.
Or family member. Yeah, loved one's the equivalent.
Sure, it doesn't have to be a blood.
I guess. Whatever.
Yeah. Like a spouse,
Let's not push it.
Okay.
Sorry, I haven't talked to Bob a lot lately.
Shit. Yikes.
No, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's a concept that people believe in. And are those souls valued? It's okay, that sounds like, yeah, but here's what I'm getting.
Okay.
Here's what I'm getting. Is the fact that people who believe in those things and they stand by it and they whatever. The fact that they believe in it and the fact that it's happening and they're seeing that pattern, is that still giving value to that soul from its previous, vessel?
I had two really weird thoughts.
Okay.
Uh, we talked about ghosts that one time.
We do. We did.
About
we do.
Yeah, we do. Being
this whole episode.
Well, maybe we haven't necessarily said spirits and ghosts are the same thing yet.
We haven't.
But if we're saying that souls are spirits and ghosts are just souls that had, what was the term?
Unfinished business.
There we go. Unfinished business. Mm-hmm. They get stuck here.
Mm-hmm. They don't reincarnate.
They don't reincarnate.
Or go on to their version of an afterlife.
Okay. All right. So there's that there.
Yeah.
I feel like it's relevant.
Sure.
But I also had this goofier thought where, okay, in the versions where there is an afterlife, is every time you put value into an animal, thinking, oh, it's my aunt. Do they get sucked out of the afterlife, put into the thing for a moment? God damn it!
Stop grieving! I'm done. I've moved on. You need to move on.
I'm sick of getting pulled back down here to deal with this. Now I have unfinished business for a little while, and my unfinished business is dealing with your bullshit until you forget about it for a little while.
That's terrible. I love it though. That is the type of shit that you need to tell the people when they're grieving, because I think it'll make them laugh. And that's, more than anything, I think that's probably what needs to be done.
In a way, it both also gives credibility to souls, spirits, reincarnation, and an afterlife.
Yeah.
Ha.
Yeah. So they're all real, is what we've come to conclusion.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Gravitational lensing or some shit. I don't understand it.
I don't even know what that means, but okay. Is that the value of a soul?
Could be.
Okay. All right. So, real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. The thing that stemmed this, right?
Oh, okay. We still haven't.
No, we were almost there.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Value of the soul was it, but it wasn't really it.
I can tell now.
Rob.
Oh.
How much would you pay for my soul?
I don't want it to be a monetary value.
Okay.
I want to have to give an object of worth.
Okay. What is my soul worth to you, Rob?
I don't know. I don't own a lot of gemstones, so I wouldn't be able to get your soul really easily. Was my first thought was gemstones. Fuck dollar bills. That currency's worthless.
Capture it in something. Use it as a phylactery. That's really what I want.
I have to exchange a sapphire to get your soul.
Yeah, that's really what it was. I just want to know how you would value my soul. It was all just a selfish. What's the right word? Ploy. Yeah, it was all just a selfish ploy for me to find out how much you value me as an individual, or not as a person, as a soul.
Well, you know what, Kev? More than you do. So, bam! Ah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, if we are ranking souls by emotional depth, then I think it only makes sense that you have to exchange value of them with something you also have an equal emotional attachment to as an object.
I think that's fair. I like that. I think that's a good place for us to wrap.
Yeah.
Is that, and we'll conclude on the value of a soul is based on emotional depth. Well, fuck. Okay, here it is. No, I'm going to do it.
It's going to turn into some kind of Full Metal Alchemist shit. You're going to die. We have to sacrifice a fucking arm to try and reincarnate you. It's not going to go well.
Put me in a box. No. But that gets me thinking, which this is a whole other thing we don't have time for. That gets me thinking is it's all a judgment call based on the impact that you had on another person in life.
Okay, so we just have to find the main character
Yes.
on Earth who's actually the one person who's conscious and have a significant emotional impact to them.
Yes. If
and
we want
then maybe
any
we'll do
hope.
okay.
Yeah. If we want any hope at all. Because, I mean, yeah. You know, it's legacy. It's life. It's impact. Really. Because if you're giving a value of object equivalent in emotional worth, then not only, because how do you know the depth of emotion I've experienced? You only know
your own. Yeah.
Yeah. And that, yeah, like I would know mine, you know yours, but you would. I'm not the one paying for my own soul.
I don't know if it's even fair to say you would know your own. I think you could only know yours for someone else.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, and then in the case of either of us, never admitted to that person.
Sure, that's just what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening. As we delved into this heady-hearty topic,
there's gonna be a lot of weird remarks, comments, thoughts about this one.
Yeah, it's it's
arguably the religious are some of the more dangerous ones to anger.
No,
they take it to heart more. The U.S. doesn't give a shit. Everybody knows the U.S. The U.S. knows people don't like the U.S.
Right.
Russia, fine, but whatever. They're kind of used to it. But the religious, they'll kill us.
No, they won't kill us because they want to show us the way. Right, dude. So after this releases, we need to start tracking how many Jehovah's Witnesses show up. Because
I haven't seen one in a while.
No, I don't think I've ever gotten one at my house.
For some reason, I didn't like the way gotten one. I haven't captured one yet.
No, I mean, I would have a conversation with a guy or a girl, whoever it is.
Yeah, why does it got to be a guy, Kev?
It doesn't. I think it would be. I think based on how they work, well, they go in pairs of the same sex, right? And then based on how it works, I think some of them try to target people of the same sex as well.
Huh. That seems like the logistics of that alone.
I don't know. I could be wrong in this, but I think that's based on all of the cult movies and documentaries that I've watched about the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons, for that matter. Yeah.
If you had to join one, which one is it?
Of those two?
Yeah.
Mormons.
Maybe I should have picked a harder choice.
Yeah, no, definitely Mormons. Oh no, yeah, definitely Mormons. Over Jehovah's Witnesses, yeah, no, I don't want. Oh fuck, they both cover up child sex scandals. God. Yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses did it more recently. If that is any.
I mean, a lot of people.
Atheism. If those are my two options. Atheism.
A lot of religions do that, to be fair.
Well, yeah, so do the Catholics,
That's the one I was thinking of, but I really wasn't going to mention it.
Why?
I kind of mentioned it just by saying it, didn't I?
Yeah. It's almost, that's okay. We'll just put that priest to a different parish. What's the worst they're going to do? They're not going to do it again. They've learned from their lesson. They've repented to God. They're not going to touch any more boys.
Oh.
On that note.
There's a lot of emotional depth right there.
Yep.
One might say it's touching.
Oh. What's the value of a soul? What's the value of a touched soul?
It's how much it's touched the lives of others.
No, please no. Please no. That's terrible.
Oh, that's really bad.
Good. Well, we're not going to that afterlife. We're going to a different afterlife.
After that one.
Yeah. But one or another, we'll figure something out with our souls.
Which are
pretty dark.
There. Definitely pretty dark.
You got to finish it how you started.
Yeah, even if they're not there, they're definitely pretty dark.
They're pretty dark. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you tuning in again, especially on one of these weirder, more abstract episodes. Let's call it that. Let's use the safe
Yeah.
words since we haven't in the past 3 minutes. Let's use the safe words now.
Yeah, and if you didn't agree with it and you turned it off a while ago, well, then you're not hearing this. If you didn't agree with it and you are hearing this, then I'll probably hear from you by a stone through a window.
Yeah, or if you wait, what did you say? If you didn't turn, wait, hold on. If you didn't, fuck, brain fart. If you didn't turn it off and you are still listening to us, maybe it's just because you're an open-minded individual who, is questioning or unsure yourself. And if you are, there are resources for you. Go join a cult.
For a brief second, I really thought you were going to go wholesome.
No. No, how dare you? We love you.
He does.